in the heart of the Rocky Mountains.
Holy, I gotta check the water level on that.
A sudden spike in the weather wreaks havoc on the Canadian Pacific Railway,
Quite a mess.
triggering a mudslide
These things can happen in the blink of an eye.
and a washout.
Holy, that water raised 9 inches overnight.
All it takes is one little mess up and it'll escalate quickly.
That threatened to shut down this lifeline.
You start bending metal, the price tag is huge.
Carved into the rugged passes and deep canyons of British Columbia lies the backbone of a country. The people who laid this track fought for every mile, some paying with their lives.
The Canadian Pacific Railway built this country, and I'm proud to be part of this. If this railway hadn't been built, there's a good chance that this country wouldn't look the way it does on the maps.
But right now, a snap warm spell has triggered thunderstorms that threaten this treacherous stretch of railroad. The pounding rain melted the snow on top of the mountain, creating massive mudslides throughout the Rockies. For engineer Geordie Hunter, today's delivery will be no ordinary journey.
I've punched slides with the trains, we've hit rocks, I've had close calls, but being an engineer is the pinnacle of my life.
I'm gonna give notice here, Geordie.
Yeah, okay.
Geordie and conductor Jim Smith are transporting 6 high-priority 540-ton cars of red shale to a cement plant in Alberta. Shale, a hardened form of clay, is a crucial ingredient for making the cement that's used to build hospitals, schools, sidewalks, and skyscrapers across the country. The cars of shale are being shipped alongside containers crammed with household goods, including pop and beer, as part of a mixed merchandise or manifest train.
I've been accused of using the word sexy and manifest in the same sentence. I have to say that the sexiest trains out here are manifest trains. And manifest trains are trains that have box cars, tank cars, flat cars, just about anything you can imagine that rolls on rails. Some of that stuff is really old, but it's beautiful. So we'll look after the brewery's beer.
Yeah, we gotta look after the brewery's beer.
But the beer isn't what keeps Geordie up at night. They're also carrying a single car of hazardous material, which is highly explosive.
We're giving emergency response on how to deal with that car in the event of a derailment. This specific car is saying that it contains flammable liquid. It has got diesel gas.
Geordie and Jim need to haul their 3,600-ton load 614 kilometers east across the country. From Ashcroft, BC, they must navigate around Shuswap Lake, through Revelstoke, up to Kicking Horse Pass, before descending down into Exshaw, Alberta.
We're here to move freight. That's what we do best, right?
Oh yeah.
In the mountains,
Who's on the other side, PK and Trains?
Roadmaster Chad Deschamps and his team in Revelstoke are battling floods to make sure Geordie and Jim don't get delayed, or worse, derailed.
Right now, our biggest monster out there is water. The snowpack is melting rapidly, which impacts the waterway systems around the railway tracks. The water is rising really rapidly right now. That causes washouts.
Might not seem like much, but as you can see, the mud holes starting to start too.
With this condition right now, we're fearing drastic mudslides and rock slides impacting the tracks. Mother Nature, if we don't stay on top of her, she's gonna take advantage of us when we got her guard down. Holy yeah, see that? I gotta check the water level on that. If that water level rises rapidly tonight, we could have a flood and a washout because it wasn't that high yesterday, so. Foreman Travis Clark, Chad Deschamps on 11 over. We're just gonna head over to this bridge at 25.8.
Chad needs to investigate the rising water under the bridge at Eagle River.
You gotta come down here, right? Holy, that water raised 9 inches overnight. If we get too much water with this rain, we could face a situation where it could wash out our tracks.
Oh yeah.
We gotta get prepared for a possible flood.
The Rockies make their own weather. The air at the bottom of the mountains is warm and wet. At the top, cold and dry. As these two systems collide, all hell breaks loose. Roadmaster Shane Goodyear saw it happen here just last night, 160 kilometers up the line at Shuswap Lake.
On Saturday night, about 11 p.m., a train reported hitting a rock slide. It turned out that higher up the mountain, water came down, and it washed all the rock and debris from the ravine here, plugged up the culvert, and then went over top of the track in front of the train. You can actually hear the rocks tumbling for about 1 to 2 minutes before they would hit the lake.
Shane captured this video of the washout.
So in the video, it shows just how quickly this can happen within a few minutes of the water creasing over the track. As you can see here, it took away the whole shoulder of the track, washed it down right from below the rail out the lakeside. So now that side of the track, see the end of the ties, they're all unsupported.
The force of the water caused the shoulder of the track to completely disintegrate. The deluge washed rocks, mud, and trees down the side of the mountain. This debris blocked the special drain called a culvert that runs under the railroad and forced the floodwater to rise over the tracks. The water washed away the soil underneath the wooden ties, leaving the rails suspended in the air.
By the looks of the mud right here, on this, you can see it's about 8-9 feet down to the creek, so it shows you how much momentum that energy had when it came down. And like you say, these things can happen in a blink of an eye. So you could go by 1 minute and it happens right there in front of you or right behind you, or worse yet, it catches you.
Shane's crew has been working through the night to clear the debris away from the culvert to allow the water to drain.
We had to come in with a lot of riprap rock and reshore up the whole structure and build it back up to the track grade. So far we've dealt with 9 of these locations. We're expecting another 3 days of heavy rain coming, so we're having to be on standby. Out of 55 hours, I had maybe 5 hours of sleep because it was just one after the other after the other. So you're just constantly going, you get it going, and another one would hit, and then another one, and it keeps